guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I have been on my land for about 1.5 years, and in that amount of time I've done a whole bunch of things, and today we're going to be going around the property and I'm going to be giving you a tour of everything that has been done so far since I've been here. And this will probably happen again another couple times as I build up the community. So we're going to go outside. I'm going to get the golf cart out because I'm going to be explaining everything that I have done. So you guys are going to get caught up if you don't know where I am at in my journey. And so yeah, let's get going. All right, so the best way I can think about explaining my vision and everything that I have done is to start at the beginning and how I saw it. So we are in the beginning of like the parking lot area to what I came into, what I saw when I first bought the land. This is my front yard. This is my mobile home. I have that extra foundation right here, and I've got this little driveway here. I ended up putting a foundation down there for my tiny house. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to start over here. This whole section is open, and basically you can see this is the road and this is all my neighbors, and you could see just the entire road. My whole point of doing these trees was to form a little privacy wall, and in the beginning I did only plant these trees that grew in 10 years, but I felt like I needed something more, so that's where the Thuga green giants came in. I ordered 10 of them from Fast Growing Trees. I'm going to put their link in the description below. 7 or 8 of these trees that I first planted did not make it, but these 3 did. Hopefully we'll see those in about 10 years. Now, as we come over here to the parking lot, I kind of thought that, you know, this whole section right here was all grass. And I figured that that could be a cool parking lot. I did drop 6 loads of gravel all around here, so I ended up having another load dropped on top of this to double the parking lot. And then I had parking ties put diagonally so that cars knew where to park. There wasn't really much room for them to pull in straight through because then they'd be falling off a little hill right there. Kind of made it easier by getting this sign, especially for the Airbnb guests, as well as those 2 signs right there telling them not to go past this area because that is their walking path. So the designated parking lot is where everybody parks, all the guests park. My personal guests may park in here with my car, but these ones here are for renters and any other guests. Now this section right when you turn to the right of the parking lot is my RV section. Each of these spots have a fire pit in them. I had 4 spots poured. This is a 25-foot spot. This next one is a 35-foot spot. Then I had this one poured, which is 45 feet, and an exit out there going that way, as well as the RVs come all the way down here and park in this last spot, which is my biggest spot, 45 to 50 feet. And they also have a fire pit and they can exit out those trees. The gravel goes all the way up there, and in the future I plan on double and triple pouring these spots so that it is more secure and safe for the RVs to park. When I first bought this land, I learned that this driveway at the back of my land is my neighbor's. That is his driveway to get to his house, so it kind of cuts through this land. Because I have RVs parking back here, I asked my neighbor if it was okay if we put up a fence, and then I was going to grow vine plants, so that is all these beautiful morning glories planted along the fence, and hopefully it gives these RVs some privacy because my neighbor has, you know, him and his family driving in and out. I added a little garbage can over here in this section, and I built up a couple firewood stands so that the guests can use complimentary firewood. I've been cutting down trees lately, so all the brush has been going here, as well as this big pile here. And when all those leaves die, that's when I'm going to come and just like chop it all up and add it to these piles. But it's kind of some fresh wood, so I just don't want to mess with it right now. These are more of the morning glories. It goes all the way down here, the end of the fence, and my neighbor and I actually left a little passageway through there in case we need to get through to each other's land. Now this whole area right here used to be grass, and I decided to put 3 huge wildflower gardens. They look a lot better in the spring and summer. They're kind of all dying right now, but this whole plan on making these wildflower gardens was to mow less, and I do mow less. I only mow in between the walkways, which is a 5-foot walkway. You can't really fit my ride-on lawnmower through there, so I got to use the push lawnmower or a weed eater. But these pathways are nicely mowed out so that guests can enjoy them. They have a view of the wildflower gardens when they stay in the tiny house, and when I move back into the tiny house, I will have that view as well. I did recently just take out a tree that was right here. It was just a dead tree, so that's some progress. This area right here, I built a couple more wood stands for the tiny house guests and put a garbage out here too. Now this little tiny house yard, I put a fire pit here and all of the stuff that I had in all of my other yards. I did add a grill to the tiny house yard because if the Airbnb guests want to use it, they have that option. This used to never be here. I did build like a little walkway up to the tiny house, which is really nice because it used to be really muddy here, so that was like not a good thing. And then my tiny house. Kept a couple plants right here. I did have utilities installed, so that is now going into the septic. I did put 2 chairs and a fire pit back here, either for the Airbnb guests, and when they're not here, that's the fire that I use. Next, I put in these gardens. I chose this area because it was in the sun most of the day, and most of these plants were full sun. It also took a lot of room so that I didn't have to mow. I do plan on extending these gardens, if not putting another greenhouse. I did add this greenhouse recently. Even with that tarp on the bottom, I'm trying to kill more of the grass, so that's less that I have to mow. These gardens are going to be redone. The whole purpose for the landscape tarp on the bottom was so that I didn't want to walk on the dirt, especially when it was rainy or anything like that. I just didn't want to walk on the dirt. Eventually I'll put rocks in there or mulch on top of that walkway, and then I'm going to redo the gardens, either raise them or add more dirt or do something to them where it's a lot more protected. I did also end up putting this fencing around it with bird netting, and this was to keep predators away, but I did not think about I guess, insects and bugs and birds because they're always found in here. I did end up building that cute little trellis for my cucumbers, which worked really well. So I'm excited to use that again next year. And I do have some basil planted over there with 3 stalks of corn. Those are the last of what I've got going on, and some jalapeno peppers right there. Now, over here is my chicken coop area. I built this little area to be a mulch pile, so that whole area is blocked off for that specifically. So in there goes pine needles that are in this pile right here, chicken poop, fire pit ash, branches, leaves, dirt, whatever garbagey stuff I could put in here. So there's some chicken poop and pine cones, pine needles, even some leaves and a bunch of stuff. So I come in here and I use a pitchfork and I stir it all up. The rains get to it and it kind of just mulches and makes a great mulch for around trees and plants and stuff, and it's a lot cheaper than going to the store and buying it. Inside this little grave area is Hennifer and Dixie. My chicken Dixie was killed by a fox. Hennifer was sick and she passed away inside the coop. But they are my pets, so I do have that little grave for them. They basically predator-proof this whole coop, and so it's pretty safe for them to like roam around inside. This is a dog kennel with 4 sides. I did just get 10 new chicks.
Hello, Gloria. She's mommy's girl. She's a mommy's girl. Hi, Gloria.
So, actually, I'll take you in there. So these roosting bars right here are where I find all of the chicks roosting at night. And a couple of them started laying eggs. So I've gotten a bunch of blue eggs so far. They're pretty much all getting along now. They do still have their pecking order and will use it. But they do have freedom inside this little cage to do, you know, whatever. They're taking their dust bath and they have food, they have their water, multiple waters. Now this is the inside of their coop. This was all built when I first came here. Had some friends come and help me put up a side right there, and then we put up this side right here. All these shelves were already here. I did build those roosting bars, and then I bought some nesting boxes so that they could nest in there. I do have 2 waterers there, 3 food feeders there. I mostly always have a fan on for them. Extra supplies for the chicks in there, hay, straw. I do have a camera in here watching them, so nothing happens to them, or I could see if something unfortunate, like what happened during that event. But this whole thing is blocked off as much as I can. So it was a challenge to basically put all of that stuff up there and cover all of the holes, because predators can get through a 4-inch hole and smaller. If they're mice, they can get through a dime and quarter size hole. So I didn't want a mice getting at the food. I didn't want foxes, weasels, whatever, raccoons, anything getting in here, because it's not a traditional chicken coop. So eventually I'm going to take this whole thing down and reclaim the lean-to that it was, be able to use it for golf carts and bigger stuff out there like tractors and stuff that I can't fit in the garage. And then I'm going to build them another chicken coop, a proper one, so that I don't have to, I guess, secure it as much. This is basically like a garage, so, you know, all the area here is just, I've got sticks sticking in holes because I don't know what to cover them with. What's up, Echo? Phoenix, what are you doing? Hello, Zoe. The mama's pretty girls.
Hello, Gloria. She's a mama's girl. How is she feeling? Is she feeling okay? Look at them taking a bath.
Now, although their tunnels are out, I did not put up the door today because I had a couple errands to run, so I was going to be away. I don't like being away for long because predators will start to dig at a structure like this if they know you're gone for a long time, so I did not want to take that chance, so I leave them in here when I'm going to be gone a lot of the day. But I did connect all of the chicken tunnels that I made for them when they were free-ranging the first time, before Dixie got killed by the fox, and I took all those tunnels and put them against this building because I wanted them to still have a place to, I guess, pick at the dirt and bugs. So they have come in handy since I've put them out here. I will drop treats in there, and even the chicks will go in there and do their thing. It's even better after it rains. They get to pick at the worms and stuff. They're pretty happy inside there. Eventually I'm going to be making this whole area into a coop. Maybe even extending it out to here, but this is what I've done so far. Now, one thing I want to explain is this section over here. This is also my land. It goes up to that fence that's right there. This is a camp spot, so this is one of the spots where a tent camper can come. And pretty soon I'm going to be putting a fire pit here, and I'm also going to be mowing all of this because there's a path that goes through there too. Cleaning all this up, and then this will become that camp spot. They'll probably be able to feed the neighbors' goats, so that'll be a cute little attraction. And who knows, I might even end up building a tiny structure here and renting that out instead of having it be a camp spot. Did end up adding that cute little bench for guests and myself, you know, to look at the wildflower gardens. This is the back of my land. I also put 3 huge wildflower gardens back here and do the whole mowing in between them. Every so often, so that people have a nice place to walk, and I have a lot less to mow. Again, these were a lot prettier in the spring and summer. They've kind of all died down. But they are wildflowers, so they do grow crazy. In this section right here, there's another 4 tent camp spots, but none of them have been broken in because I have not had a tent camper yet. So this is going to be the area where I build another 4 or 5 tiny structures, probably 4, and then I might even build that other one over there. We are back at the beginning of my land, and this is my mobile home. Not much done to that except for the inside of the mobile home. Now, even though I have not done anything with this extra foundation, it is going to probably become a cook pavilion / produce stand. So I'm gonna have a lot of cooking machines in there. So there might be a griddle, a grill, maybe an oven. I'll have a refrigerator in there, a sink. And then I'm gonna put some produce stand boxes so that I could put fresh produce in there, so that when the town wants to come buy some, they stop at that little stand and they can buy the farm fresh produce and eggs. Now currently I don't have a guest staying in the Airbnb, so we're gonna sneak inside and I'm gonna show you what it looks like inside my house. I did redo that living room that the guests could have a comfortable place to sit down and watch TV. I did hang the TV up there. I do have their little welcome basket. I have a coffee station, a little coffee maker there. I've got a guest book. I mentioned that the eggs aren't washed. And then there's also a welcome book. I just had this sink replaced because it was cracked, so having it replaced was important for me to rent it out on Airbnb. I did add these blackening curtains so that my house wasn't getting too hot. I also added this window air conditioning unit because it was just getting way too hot in here with the mini split. I didn't want the guests complaining. As you can see right now, it is 78 in here, but I have that on 75 because no one's in here. I did turn off the mini split. Upstairs is basically very plain setup. I do have extra, like a fan, and I've got a little extra cooler up there, but they're able to turn on the fairy lights, which they love. I do have the catwalk blocked off. I do have the cat loft blocked off. And I did remove the ladder so that, you know, nobody can get up there. And then I've got everything set up in here, all nice. I've got complimentary hand soaps and shampoo, conditioner. This is their little towel station back here. I give 2 free scrubbies if they need it. So I did get this table. It goes out into 4, but it seats 2 right here. I used to have a couch bed storage here, and it was my table. I sat at the end of it and used the flip down counter as my table to eat. I will be pretty happy when I move back in and I have guests and I'll be able to sit 4 people, because when I had guests before, they would have to sit on the floor, the stairs, the step. There was nowhere to sit, including the living room. There was no area to sit. Now that I have a living room and a table, it's actually more like a home now that I've moved my office into the mobile home. Let's go take a look at that. And of course, my office, I turned this entire mobile home living room into my office space. A lot of these herbs that used to be on the wall inside my tiny house in that little 8x8 office, I kind of utilized going vertical. I didn't want to put all that stuff on the wall anymore, but I still needed a place for all of them. I did move all of my stuff that was in that office in here, and even the cabinets off the wall. And then I went ahead and added some more shelves up there just to hold some of the stuff. It's kind of display-like when guests come in here, so they can still shop and whatnot. It is not a store to the public, but it is a cute little store so that I can store all of my stuff and work at the same time. I do have my workstation over here. I also have more stuff. All of this stuff is all work stuff. So this is where I am at every single day working inside this office. I did also start to remodel the entire rest of the mobile home. It used to look completely different, outdated, and I decided to redo the whole thing. This whole thing's going to become a guest house and a community house later. So that was a quick little tour of my property and everything that I have gotten done in the past year and a half. I think I have accomplished a lot and there's just so much more to come, so stay tuned for the rest. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and click the notifications bell so you can receive a notification each time I post a new video, which is every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. I did have these little don't put that.
Look at that girl. She's a pretty girl. What are you doing down there?
I'm going to put their link in the comments below. Don't put that.